Welcome to Eastern Hospitality. I'm Father Moses from Holy Resurrection Monastery in St. Nazianz, Wisconsin.
And I'm Mother Gabriella from Christ the Bridegroom Monastery in Burton, Ohio. And today we're celebrating the second Sunday of the Great Fast, which is the Sunday of St. Gregory, Palamas. So to celebrate, what are we going to be eating?
Today we're making polenta with beans and greens.
Yum, awesome. So what's our first step?
Okay, you want to chop an onion? Please.
Sure.
I'll fire up the stove.
All right, so what's your fancy way again?
Okay, slice it up and down,
Okay.
about 1/4 inch apart. There you go.
Looks good.
And the ingredients we're going to use today, we're going to use the onion, we're going to use some garlic. I have some chopped carrots, salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, and some liquid smoke. We have our white beans, vegetable broth, and kale. Now for this dish you could use any type of greens you like. Today we're using kale. You can use Swiss chard, collard greens, spinach, whatever you like. So
any type of winter green
Yep.
you can use? And
There
did
you
you
go.
pre-washed and...
Yep, it's all washed and chopped and ready to go.
All right,
Okay, let's,
looks good.
I'm gonna take that over to the
Okay.
stove.
Ooh, sounds good.
All right.
What would you like next? Take that?
The garlic, please.
Garlic? Okay. There you go.
Ooh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
We got about 2 cloves of garlic going in there.
Take
And
that.
I'll take the carrots, please.
Carrots? Okay. So these are roughly chopped.
Rough chopped carrots.
Okay. Got it. So you'll cook those for a couple?
Yep, we'll
Couple
give them a
minutes?
couple of minutes let them soften up a bit. Okay, I'll take the seasonings, the salt, pepper, red pepper.
Okay.
If we saute the pepper a little bit, it brings out the flavor. I'll take the beans.
The beans? Okay. And it looks like there's a couple kinds of beans there?
I've got 2 different kinds of beans here.
Okay.
A large white kidney and a small white kidney.
Okay. And you got those just canned, right? Is
Yep, you can cook them from scratch if you like.
that okay?
One of the things when I'm cooking during Lent, I want the meal to be quick and easy, so I don't spend all day in the kitchen. This is a 20-minute meal, start to finish.
That's what we like to hear.
If you use the canned beans. I'll take some liquid smoke, please.
Okay. So like a teaspoon or
I
something?
got about a half a teaspoon
Half
in there.
teaspoon, okay.
Liquid smoke kind of gives your
Okay.
dish a little bit of that meaty flavor that you're not getting from meat, so it kind of gives it like a smoked sausage or a ham type flavor in the dish. And the vegetable broth, please.
Vegetable broth, okay. And you can use what? That's like some kind of concentrate or...
Concentrate, bouillon, fresh
Okay.
vegetable broth, whatever you happen to like.
Got it.
Sorry. I'm going to bring this to a simmer, and I'm going to add the greens.
Okay.
Now they look like a lot of greens right now, but they're going to cook right down. And we took out the center stem, which is very tough and woody. It's not something you'd want in the dish, so we took that out and chopped them in small pieces. And they're going to cook down more than that anyway. So just add them. There you go.
Okay. So once you get that cooked down, you're gonna let the kale cook for a bit, and then you have to let it simmer.
I'm going to let the whole thing simmer
Okay.
for about 20 minutes, and you're ready to go. Give it a taste, see if it needs a little seasoning. But this is going to cook right down.
Okay. Does it look like it's about done?
It's ready to simmer. It's cooked down. The kale is all down in the liquid now, so we'll let it simmer for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we can make our polenta.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right, I'm going to slide this off to the other burner. And I have some water with a little bit of salt in it here.
Okay.
I have polenta. Now, polenta, for people who don't know, is a ground cornmeal. And it's popular in parts of Italy. It's a real staple in Romania and in parts of Eastern Europe. And it's just basically boiled cornmeal. It turns into a mush. And we're going to add it to the boiling water. We're going to stir it in. And now we're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Well, while we wait for that to go ahead and get cooking, we're going to send it over to Father Alexander from Holy Trinity Orthodox Church in Parma, Ohio, for a little reflection. So we'll see you soon.
Thanks, chefs. I'm Father Alexander Garklovs, pastor of Holy Trinity Orthodox Church here in Parma, Ohio. Today, on the second Sunday of Great Lent, we commemorate one of the great saints of the Eastern Orthodox and Eastern Christian traditions, Saint Gregory Palamas. Saint Gregory lived in the beginning of the 14th century. He was born into an aristocratic family in Constantinople. Palamas is actually his surname. Gregory felt a calling to the monastic life and already at 18 went to Mount Athos, a famous monastic peninsula in northern Greece. There he was exposed to various spiritual, monastic, and ascetic traditions. In particular, he became a follower of what is called hesychasm. Hesychasm comes from a Greek word meaning stillness or silence. Gregory was ordained a priest when he was 30 and remained on Mount Athos for a while. Later, at about age 50, he became Bishop of Thessalonica in northern Greece. But Gregory is most famous because of his writings, his theological and spiritual writings, as well as his homilies and sermons. In particular, he is noted for his defense of hesychasm. Hesychasm is a spiritual tradition involving stillness, silence, repetition of the Jesus prayer, and seeking in contemplation and concentration union with God. This union with God was a matter of some controversy. How is union between man and God possible at all? Some people thought that in coming close to God, we actually somehow encounter or perceive the essence of God. And St. Gregory was responsible for articulating the difference between God's essence, which is unattainable and inaccessible to mere humans and created beings, the difference between essence and the energies of God, which do affect and touch humans. St. Gregory used as an example the uncreated light which the apostles beheld when our Lord Jesus Christ was transfigured. That uncreated, brilliant light, St. Gregory said, is an example of the energies of God, which come directly from God and can affect human beings. Some of this is complicated and very, very profound theology, but it is something that actually affects all believers if with prayer and concentration and effort we open our hearts and minds to God. St. Gregory is also noted for his sermons, and many of his writings are today available in English. St. Gregory died in 1359, and a mere 9 years later was canonized by the Orthodox Church. He remains a great example of a spiritual father and an inspiration for all who seek growth in their life, in their faith in Jesus Christ. And now back to the chefs.
Welcome back. Thanks, Father Alexander, for that beautiful reflection. Now we'll take a look and see if everything's ready. How's it looking, Father?
Looking good. Are we ready?
Okay, good. All right, I've
Okay.
got a plate here.
All
I'm
right.
ready to dig in.
We've got
So
our
we've got-
polenta here, so we'll
Okay,
put a portion of that down.
so it's got kind of like a,
It's
Very
thickened up and all the corn, it's cooked through. So now we've got our kale and beans all simmered together. The kale, as you can see, is cooked down. It's changed color. The broth is thickened.
and you just pour it right over top.
All over the top. I'm ready to go.
All right,
Give it a taste. Tell me what you think.
all right, I will. You want to try it?
Thanks.
Let's see. Oh, good. Nice and garlicky.
Nice on a cold winter's evening.
Thanks so much for joining us this week. We look forward to seeing you next week for the third Sunday of the Great Fast, where we'll be celebrating the veneration of the cross with some Mexican hominy and beans, as well as some vegan chocolate cake. Be sure to check back on March 14th to see that episode. You can also check out our website, easternhospitality.org, to find out different ways to fund the show, as well as ways to support, such as purchasing merchandise. We look forward to seeing you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.